This is KDXI St. George, Radio St. George at 100.3 FM. It's now time for tips, topics, issues, and positions. And now your host for tips, Dr. Bob Oxley.
Hello, everybody. Bob Oxley here, and welcome back to Tips, Topics, Issues, and Positions. And today's topic is going to be Dixie State University athletic program. And, of course, I call the top person that's in charge of that whole program, Dr. Jason Boothe, athletic director for Dixie State University. And welcome back.
Thanks.
6 months ago, we did this, and you gave us a review and preview. So now the fall season's over. We're just entering into this winter and spring season. So I called you back for a little review of what transpired in the fall and what we can look forward to in the upcoming season.
Happy to be here, Bob.
Okay, great. So lots went on. Football program, really, I remember the first game. Everybody had a big question mark.
Sure.
We played a ranked team, and we said, boy, we got a long way to go. And then things started to come together. It was a wonderful situation. You want to elaborate a little bit on that, and we'll move forward. We'll go through all the sports. But
Well, I don't set the schedule. So knowing that we had Colorado State Pueblo coming in on the first game, we knew that was going to be a challenge. But it was going to be a challenge for them, too. New coaching staff, they didn't know what we had, but they beat us pretty good. But we played a lot better than the score reflected, so we felt good about it. And I know the coaches were disappointed, but they learned a lot. And from that point on, we won. I don't know how many in a row it was, but we won all but one road game, which is remarkable in the year. And we lost two home games, home opener and homecoming. Yes. So, but hey, to go 8-3 is phenomenal. We just missed out on making the playoffs. We finished 10th in the region, and they take the top 7. So it was probably that one loss on homecoming that hurt us. But that's guessing. We don't know. We could have won that game and still not made it. But we're very pleased with the effort of the kids and those young men out there. They did a remarkable job and represented Dixie very well.
I think they did too, and that's the word from the fan base.
Yeah.
I mean, just word of mouth, not solicited, but saying, you know what? They were in every game. They never gave up until the final gun.
Played hard, represented well. Played smart. And
I like the Rocky Mountain video when they're on the away games.
Yeah,
they did a nice job with that.
Yeah,
that's really nice to have.
Yeah.
So what do you think? I'm going to fast forward a little bit. I know we've got a big thing coming up around the corner called, I think it's called Division I.
It's coming.
Curiosity, as far as recruiting's concerned, based on our showing this last term, that really should have helped the program and justify it. Do you have any comments there?
Well, I'm not obviously involved in recruiting, but just talking with coaches and following social media of what is out there of offers that we've made and kids that have gotten offers and things like that. It's going very well. Now, I don't have the knowledge of what to compare to of what other offers these kids are getting or how good they are or anything. That's the coaches. But in speaking with them, they're very excited. And we've gotten we have several coming in at this break here over Christmas for the spring semester. That'll be here for spring practice. And just anecdotally, we're hearing things of kids are turning down other FCS programs, good FCS programs, and I won't say who, but good FCS programs that are turning down offers that they had for them to come here. And so that's when you said, okay, well, it's starting to work. And we don't even have our facility remodeled yet. We're just getting going. So it's a great start, and we're excited.
Yeah, and people are even saying about the facilities. Even the comments were about the stadium itself. It's a little over 10,000 now.
Yeah.
It looks like an FCS stadium.
Yeah.
In fact, it's better than a lot of the stadiums that are out there.
Oh, yeah.
And we haven't even begun.
We don't have phase 3 funded yet, and so once we get that done, we'll have a new locker room, new restrooms for the fans, new ticket office, a bookstore space in there. We'll have the press box will be done. It'll be remarkable.
Can I throw something else at you? Last time you were here, you had just started negotiating about a new, sophisticated digital scoreboard.
Yeah.
Is that project moving forward?
Yes. We will have a video board installed at football stadium and a brand new 4-sided one in Burns Arena as well.
Oh my gosh.
Probably over the summer is when they'll actually go in.
It's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
That just, what that does, it adds to the fan base and gets them involved and make noise and all that.
Well, it allows us to make the experience for the fans and even the student athletes that much better, but allows us to generate some more revenue with, ads and things like that. So it's a win on all fronts.
Fantastic.
Very, very excited for
That's
this.
great. So that's moving forward. Okay.
Yep.
I'm going to leave it up to you. What's your choice next for the fall? What would you?
Well, we'll start cross country. They don't get a lot of exposure or hype, but those teams were phenomenal. So if you take a minute, if you're watching this, and just go onto the RMAC or just Google Division II cross country and just look at the names of the programs that are ranked. And in the top 10, I believe there's at least 4 or 5 from our conference. So our teams are not in the top 10, but on the men and the women's side, each of those teams finished 6th in the conference.
Wow.
So right behind these top ranked teams. Adams State went and won. I think, I'm not sure if they won both men and women's. I know at least they won the women's side national championship. And then there were, 2 RMAC teams right on their heels, in the national championship. So it was, for them to finish 6th in the RMAC at the conference championships is remarkable. So we're very excited for that. And then Billy Hatch goes on to the national championships and finishes 8th in the nation. So All-American, phenomenal finish for her. And she improved her finish, place, and time amazingly from last year to this year in the national championship. So we're so excited for her. And, we can't get enough exposure and excitement for her just because it just doesn't get the...
and it's real. It's real.
It's
right there.
It's remarkable level of athletic competition she's competing in. So, volleyball went 20-8. Got to the RMAC semifinals again for 2nd year in a row. Just missed on the NCAA tournament, but a great season for them. Nothing to be ashamed of there. Men's soccer got to the RMAC conference tournament, won a quarterfinal game at home versus Westminster, which is always good to beat our friends from Salt Lake City in a very hotly contested, close game. And then we lost a semifinal match to the eventual conference champion Colorado School of Mines on their field in the semifinals. The women I'll just start back with the conference tournament.
Right.
They got into the conference tournament and lost in their first match. Which is the women's side was set up a little bit differently. So in our first match, we lost to Metro in penalty kicks. And you'd think, oh, okay, that's, the season's probably over. Well, no, because we got an at-large bid into the NCAA tournament as a 5 seed, 5 of 7 in the South Central region. Goes to so we were the 5 seed, and so we had to play the 4 seed Texas Women's in the first round, which was on a Friday afternoon, supposedly in the afternoon, at UC Colorado Springs. UC Colorado Springs was the number 1 team in the nation. They hadn't lost all year until the conference championship game where they lost to Colorado School of Mines. So they're sitting there upset that they lost the conference championship on their field, no less, the week before.
Well,
and they're watching us play Texas Women's and waiting for the winner. So we had to play Friday, and then we played a Colorado Springs team who was rested. So we won on Friday. We beat Texas Women's in freezing cold temperatures. The game was supposed to be played at 1. It was played at 6 because there was a foot of snow on the field that had snowed overnight and through the morning, that the UCCS staff did an amazing job of clearing it off because campus was closed. It was that bad. And this is in Colorado Springs, so you know that there was a lot of snow if the campus was closed. But they committed that they're going to play the game, and they cleared the field off, and we played it at 6 o'clock at night. So the sun was down. It was freezing cold, but the girls battled and won in penalty kicks. And so then we got to play UCCS. So again, number 1 team in the nation, hadn't lost until the week before, and we beat them 2-1.
Yeah, that was great.
The biggest upset and our biggest win in our program's history. Prior to this year, we'd never only been to the NCAA tournament once, and we lost in the only game we played. So not only did we get our first win on Friday, we then got our second win on Sunday and beat the number 1 team in the nation to do it. Not just the number 1 seed in our region, but the number 1 team in the nation. So I feel bad for UCCS, but they lost 2 games all year, and it was the 2 games to lose at the very worst time because they lost in the conference championship, so they didn't get that. Yeah. And then they lost in their 1 game in the NCAA tournament.
Against Dixie State.
Against Dixie State, a conference rival, conference team that they beat 2-1 earlier, that they beat us 2-1 earlier in the year on their field. So we got some revenge there and beat them. So we get to the Sweet 16, and we took about a week off because there was Thanksgiving in there. So we go up to Western Washington, who hosted and we played Dallas Baptist for the right to win the South Central Championship. And so we won that game. And so we won the South Central region. Girls were all fired up, got to hoist a trophy. They were so excited. And then that got us to the Elite Eight. So then we had a day off and then played Western Washington, who had beaten Point Loma on the night that we'd beaten Dallas Baptist. And so we played Western Washington on their field for the chance to go to the Final Four. And they beat us. I think it was 3-0.
I saw, that was on.
But that team was remarkable. Really, really good team. And anytime you get to you're in the Elite Eight, everyone's going to be really good.
I remember they singing this at Western Washington on the side of the field. They had the national championship 2016.
2016. And they eventually lost in the national championship game this year to Grand Valley State. So to give you an example of the level of competition at that point, Grand Valley State in their regular season, in their conference play, did not give up a goal.
Wow.
So obviously they went undefeated, but they didn't even give up a goal. And so they even won their quarterfinal matchup 9-0 in the NCAA tournament. So that was going to be uphill sledding if we'd even gotten to the Final Four. If we were able to get past a really good Western Washington team. But that's just the level of competition. We were right there, and I'm so proud of those girls. They battled and
the program's established. And
it's in good shape. These ladies did a really nice job of competing and representing Dixie State incredibly well. We're so proud of them.
I noticed in the local paper, the Spectrum, yesterday, front page, they had their picture on the front page, and so
did a nice story.
They did a great story, 2-page story on it, and it was wonderful. I'm glad that they got the recognition,
and they don't get enough recognition for what they did.
They don't.
I mean, we've only had 3, 4. This was our 5th region championship. 3 of them were by softball, 1 by men's golf just this last spring, and now this one. So they're hard to come by. And so for them to do it in the way they did it, on the road, on UCCS's field, against the #1 team in the nation, and then to beat Dallas Baptist on the road, in a neutral environment, but still, it's remarkable.
It's the bus trip there, and
we flew. You
flew.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, it's
a grind
away from home.
Yeah, and it's during coming up on finals, and they're away a lot when they probably weren't maybe expecting to be, but they hoped to be, but they weren't. And so there's a lot that goes into it, and they just performed so well. And
that'll lay a foundation for this program moving forward. This operation moving forward.
Good launching point for them to go into Division I.
That's fantastic.
So the fall, this is our most successful fall season in the history of our athletic program. We win 69% of our games this fall.
It's absolutely amazing where this fall, the outcomes, the games, and the quality. What a step up!
Yeah.
Just the quality of the teams themselves.
Yep.
And just absolutely fantastic.
Hard work pays off. Our coaches are doing a great job.
Well, the idea is that then we're getting these teams now. Are they eligible to start recruiting for Division I? Because they've completed their season. I'm just asking about NCAA rules.
Well, they're recruiting Division I athletes now. I mean, but we're recruiting athletes that will be coming in to compete in Division I. So we have that carrot to put out there for these fall sports because our next season is going to be Division I.
Yes.
Now, behind the scenes, we're still a Division II, so we still have to operate under the Division II recruiting rules as far as when we can be out recruiting and seeing. And
that's what I was asking.
Which in some ways is an advantage for us because there's a period coming up here where Division I football coaches cannot be out on the road, but we will be. Because we can be. And so we expect some schools to be saying, hey, what's Dixie doing out there? They're breaking the rules. No, actually, we're still Division II. So, but they have some advantages that we don't. But it all evens out. But, we're hitting it hard and out there selling Division I because that's what these fall sports teams are going to be.
Fantastic. Let me intervene something right now, and then after a little bit of break coming up, we're going to come back and take a look at what's going on right now, the teams right now. But let me ask you a question. Division I, we're all excited about that, but it takes a lot of money. People don't understand.
Yeah.
I don't think they have a clue as to how much money we're asked to expose ourselves to as a result of this decision.
Yeah.
And I understand there's some fundraising going on. Can you just take a moment? I know we're we're in intermission, so to
Yeah.
speak, but just take a couple of minutes just to make people aware of fundraising. If they, hey, I really want this to happen.
Yeah.
The Dixie State's my adopted team.
Yeah.
That type of thing. So
Well, we need anyone and everyone to help. This isn't something where the university is just saying, oh, we're going to divert all these resources that we had to go into academics and to other things to just because we want to be Division I. That's not the case at all. I know there's some grumbling on campus and whatnot that, Dixie athletics is getting all the money on campus. That's not true in any way. I wouldn't be comfortable moving forward if that was the case. Not that president or anyone else would even suggest that, but it's primarily on fundraising. Yes, we're getting some more money from the institution to help with the transition, but it's nowhere near paying for all of it. We have to raise a significant amount.
we're talking millions here.
Yes.
I mean, let's put it on the table.
The application fee alone to the Division I is $1.7 million. So that's just not sitting on a shelf somewhere on campus that we can just, we'll just take that. No, we're raising that. So we've got a very aggressive campaign right now called our Trail to D1 campaign, where it's using all forms of social media and text to donate campaign. I mean, we're exhausting every resource we possibly can. We're sending mailers to people with little gifts inside, inviting them to games to come experience it, not just for this initial fundraising need that we have, but for long-term connection and support. But we're trying to raise $1.5 million between now and June.
Yeah, I saw the ads at the basketball game. You had the coming up at the end of the promo and the introduction.
Yeah, and we're doing things in the grocery stores where you'll be able to, would you like to donate a dollar or two to the Dixie State D1 campaign? And here's a little sign you can hang up, and kind of like the March of Dimes things you see. Those little we're doing that, and Harmon's has come on board to do that with us, and Stapley Pharmacy will be doing it as well. So the community's starting to get on board, but we need anyone and everyone to help out, as little as $5 to thousands of dollars. But the main way is by texting Dixie to 71777.
Can you say it again, please?
Dixie to 71777.
Okay.
And then you'll get instructions on where to click and to go to the website. But it's a way to give as much or as little or as much as you can to help us out.
That would be great. Yeah, I'm glad. I just thought it was really important that people make so we're all waving the D1 flag.
Yeah.
And we're excited.
It comes with a price. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're going to need people to buy tickets, and we're going to need, it just doesn't happen without that support. And we won't be successful without that support long term.
I'm glad. I just thought of something. Walmart has the Dixie State flag. Did you know that?
Yeah.
All across the ceiling. You look up and it's all Dixie State University.
It's taken some time to get in there, but yeah, they've been very supportive. We have some apparel and in Dick's and other places finally too. The licensing starting to come on. So the D1 change really accelerates that kind of stuff. So it's good to see.
I would think so. Well, you want to start talking about some of the teams that are
Absolutely.
ongoing right now, some of the activity? We can do that.
We have our basketball season obviously right now.
Yes.
Start with the women are doing great. They are, what the exact record is, they're near the top of the conference. They just went on the road this last weekend and won 2 big games to finish out their conference play for the calendar year. And they're doing well. They're going to be in good position. The men, however, they're being overshadowed by the men, just by simply the men are playing out of their minds. They're 10-0 as of this recording. We will be going up to Western Oregon on December 20th for a big non-conference, tough non-conference game. But as of right now, we're number 6 in the nation.
Number 6 in the nation right now.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
To go with the women's soccer team finishing number 8 in the nation, which was released this week, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I thought it was amazing. They went up to they played Lake Superior State, which is Division I.
Yeah.
And they're
Division II.
Division II,
Yeah.
but they knocked them off by 20 points.
Right.
So close to that.
Yeah.
And then the following night they played the University of Alaska Fairbanks, I think.
Yep.
And they same thing, about 20-point victory there. And then from there you started seeing them into the top 10 as a result of that effort.
Well, this last weekend we went on the road for conference games, which are huge, and we went to New Mexico Highlands on Friday night. And if you recall, they were the team that this same time last year we hosted at home for a conference game, and we beat them pretty badly. Well, then they came back to our place for the quarterfinal game in the RMAC tournament, and I don't really want to remember what happened, but they beat us.
Yes, they did.
And we were done.
I was there.
And we didn't get into the NCAA tournament because we lost that game, and they didn't get an at-large bid. So we're playing them, and they were up huge on us. I think it was 18-4 at one point, or 22-4. We were even down 19 points in the second half, and we came back to win in overtime. So a huge win, not only to beat that team, but how we did it and build confidence for the guys. Like, we're never out of it. We can fight. The New Mexico Highlands was just shooting out of their minds. They had one guy that scored over 40 points.
Wow.
I think he hit at least 8 or 9 3-pointers. I mean, it was insane. He was hot. But then to turn around the very next night, that night after the game, to drive to Pueblo, Colorado, 3 or 4 hour drive from Las Vegas, New Mexico, and then to beat a good Pueblo team pretty handily the next night.
It's total self-confidence.
It's looking good for them. Now, there's a long way to go. Obviously, it'd be remarkable if they could run the table and be undefeated. I don't know that that'll happen just because they're games and you can't win them all, as they say. But they're off to a great start, and it'll be exciting to see how they finish.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I'm excited about the basketball team. I just think that the team, every player out there, and the bench is contributing.
Yeah, there isn't a one player that is just that you star. We're just going to go to him. There isn't that. It's very balanced, and everybody is really, really good.
And that's what gives me the confidence.
Yeah.
Because they are balanced. So somebody's having an off night, somebody else will pick up the slack.
It's a little different than what we've had in the past.
Yes.
John's teams have been really balanced typically, but this is even a stronger balance.
I think so too. I really, because his teams find their personality up until January, and then from January on, it's always a run.
Yeah,
usually
don't get off to this good of a start.
That's what's exciting.
Usually we have we're a 5-3 or something like that.
Right, because he's experimenting.
We schedule tough too, just so we can get that strong strength of schedule for at-large consideration for the NCAA tournaments. But we've done that, and we've won the game. So that's why we're sitting at number 6 in the nation, is we've played a good schedule and we won. We've got some tough teams coming up. We've got UC Colorado Springs on January 3rd and Colorado School of Mines on the 4th at home. So those are big games, and we won't have the students back necessarily because classes don't start till that next Monday, but we need the community to come out and support in a big way and start to attach themselves to this team as we finish this season and get ready for a huge season next year at Division I.
I mean, this is so encouraging, and the community should come out. And let me interject something from me personally. My wife and I go to the games, and we sit right at the top, and we just enjoy all of the activities because you've got all of the cheerleading squads doing their thing. You've got the dance team doing their thing. Yeah. You've got now the temporary scoreboard, and you got the digital. Yeah. You've got that going. You have activities going on virtually at every break. Oh, yeah. So you're getting all kinds of audience involvement and T-shirts flying and free balls, and I mean it is a total experience for a few dollars. Yeah. I mean it's really, correct me if I'm wrong, it's kind of geared not only for the students but for families and for the community. It's just a wonderful evening to enjoy. And
I'm
glad at the team.
Glad to hear that, because that's our goal, is to
that's
get
coming
the families
across.
out. And we don't charge anything for kids 18 and under right now. Next year that will change. We're going to have to charge for kids just to meet some revenue goals, but it's not going to be exorbitant by any means.
We talked about that.
We still want to have the families come and maybe a family friendly environment. So that's still going to be the goal, and I think we'll be able to do both.
Well, all that activity is coming across loud and clear. We just sit back, my wife, and we just look down and watch the little ones and the family, and everybody's involved, and you're getting them involved with Dixie State and the basketball programs, and
winning helps, obviously,
and of course winning helps.
But everything else on top of that, I tell my staff all the time, even in those rough years when football wasn't playing well or winning, we were struggling and still growing. Everything that we could control went well. We can never control the outcome of the game, but the promotions went off well. The restrooms worked. The lights were on. All these things that we can control and plan for were great. Then that's all you can do.
That's
and
right.
and then if the team wins, that's just icing on the cake. So that's what our goal is, to give a great experience and environment for the fans, students, community, children, whoever it may be. And then if we win, well, that's just even better.
Yeah. Well, it's coming across loud and clear at Burns Arena.
Good.
I mean, that's a real experience.
Glad to hear it.
And even if we're not, I mean, we're older people sitting at the top watching all this, and some of my neighbors, and we're saying this is a wonderful experience for everybody here. So
Cool.
Yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to take a short break.
Great.
And we'll come back. This is exciting. Okay, and we're going to continue with taking a look at the teams that are actually participating in activities now, their events and their competition, and then we're going to wind it up with just a little bit of talking about Division I.
Great.
Okay, so
Sounds
we'll
good.
be right back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Bob Oxley, and I'm very fortunate to have the athletic director for Dixie State University, Dr. Jason Boothe, with us, and we'll be right back.
We now return you to tips, topics, issues, and positions with Dr. Bob Oxley.
Hey everybody, Bob Oxley back here again with Dr. Jason Boothe, the athletic director from Dixie State University. And the first half of the show, we were talking a little bit about a review of all the exciting things and how wonderful it was this fall with all the sports, very, very successful, and all the programs are growing and moving forward. And we got talking about the basketball programs, both the women's and the men's basketball programs, how exciting they are. And the men's team is now ranked number 6 in the country as of right now. And we got some tough games ahead of us, but boy, it's exciting. And the women's program is just turning right around. They're always in it. And so that's exciting. So what I'd like to do is let's pick up where we left off. We've covered basketball. Right. So what other sports are going on here, and what kind of things are going on with these teams?
Swimming is in season right now, and they've got a nice little new venue that you may have seen. Kind of glows in the city lights. The Human Performance Center is now open, and they're in their beautiful new Olympic-sized pool. We've already had a swim meet there.
Yes.
We beat Biola, so we're undefeated at all time. For all time, we've never lost on campus. Swim team. We're 1-0, but we've never lost.
That was November the 10th, wasn't
Yes.
it? Maybe
it was the 16th.
16th.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yes, a week off. But that was great. I'm glad you're doing it. We're undefeated on campus.
Yeah,
why not?
We've never lost.
I love it.
And then after that meet, they went to a big meet at Colorado Mesa, who was in our conference, and they're a conference leader in that. And we after day 1, we were in 4th place. After day 2, we were in 3rd place. And then after day 3, the final day, we were in 2nd place. We finished in 2nd place. And there was other conference competition there that we beat out. So that team is getting progressively better every year, and it's so exciting to see the jump. So I'm excited for them in February to see how they do at the RMAC Championships, because we have I don't know that we will. I don't know if we'll have quite the depth to knock off a Colorado Mesa, but because we don't have diving, and so you get points for diving that we just won't get.
Yeah.
But last year, I can't remember what exactly. I think we finished either 3rd or 4th in the RMAC, and we did it without diving, and we beat out several teams that had diving. So that we're gaining a lot of points on just the swimming event. So I think we'll be right up there at the top of the RMAC. Not sure that we'll win it, but it'd be great if we could. That'd be a great way to go out.
About diving, you brought that up when you were with us 6 months ago, and you said we were going with the program. It doesn't have diving.
Yeah.
What was the reason again?
It's just funding. We didn't have the funding quite ready to have another coach, because you need a diving coach.
Right.
Typically, you have your head coach who typically oversees the swimmers. Distance, sprints, all that, but then you have a diving coach, because you're focused on them. You can't just leave the divers over there on the diving board letting them practice on their own. They have to have a supervision, and they need specified
degree
coaching.
Of difficulty.
Correct. They need the specified coaching that
Right.
not all swim coaches necessarily have. Okay. So we're moving towards adding one. Now that we have the facility, we have 2 1-meter and 2 3-meter springboards. So that's what you need. And so we're going to be moving towards adding that. I don't know have a timeline yet, but we will be adding that.
That was a question, by the way, at the meet. I kept saying though that we're not going to have diving. We don't have diving, and they go, We got diving boards.
Yeah, we do now. But prior to that building, we didn't. I mean,
No,
it
I
didn't
know.
make any sense to have because we didn't have anywhere for them to dive.
Exactly. Yeah, you said that.
But now we do. So we'll start to move towards that.
That's fantastic. Well, that's great news.
So those are the teams that are right now, just the basketballs and swimming that are in season, and shortly after the first of the year, baseball and softball. And
so can we kick a little fast? Let's take a look at baseball and softball. You know, that softball team of ours. You know,
pretty good.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Can we talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So I expect very good seasons out of both of them, just because they're always right there at the top. They're always so strong. And so we haven't seen any preseason rankings or anything like that, but those don't really mean anything. It's just the coaches guessing. But I think the conference will have their ears laid back and coming after us because we're going Division I, so they want to beat us, and we're one of the top programs in both of them. And we were the defending RMAC conference tournament champions in softball. Baseball just fell short last year, so I think we're going to be very strong and solid in on both of those, and excited to see them.
Well, a couple of my student athletes have already informed me that they're both going to have outstanding seasons. And baseball's indicating that pitching's shored up and moving forward. That was.
We've
I won't say who it was.
A lot of depth and improvement in pitching, or on paper. You never know until we get out there.
And they said, and they're aware of that, but they feel totally self-confident that this was a situation that was identified and has been resolved, and they're going to move forward. Very positive attitudes on both the softball players, team players, and as well as the baseball. So I'm kind of excited about that. Last year, we had a couple come forward and give $1 million toward the renovation of a softball. Can you elaborate?
Sure.
Where are we at with that and moving forward?
Contrary to what I would believe, if I had $1 million, I could do a lot with it, personally. But when you're dealing with trying to renovate a facility, it doesn't go very far.
No.
It's a wonderful gift, and we're very grateful. But it just kick-started our ability to really get after this project, in a very aggressive way. So we have got conceptuals laid out, and when we build this facility, it will be remarkable. It is top notch, and it'll be about $6.5 million to build it.
Okay. Well, I remember 6 months ago you guessed about $5 million.
Yeah. We need about $5 million more. We have $1 million roughly from them,
right.
But we have the conceptuals out of the way. We haven't, spent the money to design it, by the square foot as to what will be where. But we have a very good idea of what it'll look like and what we can fit in there and how many seats it'll have and all of that. So we're ready to go. We just need some more donations. So we're also trying to raise money for the football stadium renovations and many other entities on campus.
We'll get Burns Arena with the new digital.
Burns, there's many needs that we have on campus, not just in athletics, but all across campus that. When someone steps forward and they may say, well, I want my money to go to the science, engineering, technology building. Okay, let's go. Put it in there. Or I want it to go to the new, into the Human Performance Center. Or I want this to go to softball. Great. So we're actively out there looking for folks that want to help out. Now the softball, it's going to be harder to sell because it's not the football stadium where you get that, all that exposure from all those events, and the 4th of July is in there and all these other things. It's just really just the softball stadium, but it's a phenomenal program, and it's in, we're pitching it to companies even because it's in a really good spot right on I-15 if they want to have some advertising exposure. So we're pitching all avenues, a charitable contribution by someone like the Lyman's who gave us the $1 million to companies that want to have, it named after them and have a big lit sign that you can see on all directions from I-15. So we're trying as fast as we can, but it'll be a beautiful facility when we get it done. Not if we get it done, when, because it'll happen.
What's nice about both the baseball and the softball facilities now, and then with the plans, it's not just word of mouth. It is a real established program.
Oh yeah,
that has credentials. Yeah, both of them do.
Yeah, and both of those programs are not going to see a huge drop off when we go to Division I, especially softball. But we're going to be very competitive and very good. Obviously we're not going to go to the NCAA tournament for 4 years because we can't, but we're going to be competitive, and we're going to be right up near the top of the conference in both of those sports. We just will. Yeah, and get even better as we go.
Yeah, and we all, and the fan base really feels that way. Also, there's a high level of confidence both for the softball program as well as the baseball program. So and that's good to have.
And elsewhere in the spring, we got 2 really strong golf programs.
Okay, talk to me about that.
The men's golf team is coming off a South Central Region Championship. They finished number 9 in the nation last year, and so they're going to be strong. And as we finish out this year, our final D2 year, women are again a relatively young program. I think this is only their 6th or 7th year, somewhere in that range, maybe a little older than that as I lose track of how fast time goes. But they're growing every year on a very good pace to be near the top of the RMAC. I think they could even win it. They were right near the top last year.
That's great.
So both programs should have very strong springs, and we're excited to see how it finishes up.
Can you just, I don't know how you keep level here, because where we've come with our programs at Dixie State last fall, they've proven them. It's real. It's on paper. It's there.
Yep.
And then where we're at right now with the winter sports,
and
the anticipation for the spring sports.
Well,
wow.
I have to say, that when I got here 10 years ago, the programs were good. I mean, it was a lot of potential. There's a sleeping giant here, such potential. Well, we've built on that potential, and we've built ourselves into a very strong, very viable Division II program. So it's a little bittersweet, to be honest, that, okay, we're going to go to Division I, so we're going to have to kind of start over, but not from scratch necessarily, but we're going to have to take some steps back, and I'm going to be taking some lumps again as we build up. And we won't get to a nationally dominant, Division I program at the level we are now. I mean, we're in reality, and our coaches would agree, we're not going to be getting to the College World Series in softball, 3 out of every 6 or 7 years. It's just the competition level is so different. Now, we're going to try, and I think we could. That program could potentially do it. But look who you're going to be competing against UCLA, Tennessee, Michigan, Oklahoma for the right to get there.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
everybody's shooting for Omaha.
It's a little bit different, but our goals are just different. Winning a WAC championship is going to be amazing, and getting the NCAA tournament will be incredible, almost as big as getting to the College World Series in Division II. So just the perspective is a little different. So for me, it's a little bittersweet that we won't have all the success to talk about of how I'm so proud of, but we will. We will have a lot of success to talk about and a lot of great things to talk about. It just won't be region championships and this and that. It will be conference championships. It'll be individual conference champions. It'll be academic success. It'll be a lot of, a fundraising success. It'll be this great game here where we beat this team. Yeah, it'll be still great things. And we're very excited, and I'm all for making this move. It's just now we have to kind of reset our priorities and goals and get after
along
it.
with that, the sophistication to be competitive. You're raising the bar.
Yeah.
And with that, there's an expense related to it.
Yeah.
There's recruiting becomes even more definitive.
Yeah.
Right personality, right program.
Feel better about it is the coaches are 100% behind it. They're ready to go. They're on board, and they're the ones that are going to have to go out and do the recruiting and and be the ones out there winning the games. So if they're on board, then I'm going to be on board and support them, no matter which way we'd have gone. I mean, my job is to remove the hurdles in front of the coaches to be successful, no matter what level we're at.
And you think of it this way. Even the coaching staff, even though we have a great coaching staff across the board right now, think of the learning curve they're going to go through.
Oh, yeah.
The expertise, the interface with other D1 coaches that have been around for a while.
Yep.
Picking up tips, how to do things, what not to do. Eventually, it's all going to come to fruition and to be our benefit.
What they'll find is, and they know this way better than I do, but the margin for error in games at that level is so thin that any little thing, boom, you're now losing by, you're up by 2 in a basketball game, and now you're down by 12.
Yeah.
The margin for error is that 12-point difference might only be a 6-point difference because they don't make 3 of those baskets. Or Division I, you're in a hole quicker. So it's an adjustment for them, but again, they are 100% on board. They're fired up, and I have the confidence in them, and they're ready to go.
With that, we can anticipate there's going to be an increase in cost or expense. Okay, just because of the sophistication requirements.
Overall,
just to be
yeah.
right. So Have you heard have you received any pushback as a result of that, or is everybody just excited about getting into D1 and moving forward? Are they aware of long term what kind of a commitment this really is?
Well, yes. I mean, as far as from the university?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And we studied all that in depth before we even made a decision. So we have a multi-year budget plan, a very conservative one that we know we can fund that will get us to be a competitive athletic, Division I athletic department. It's nowhere near the top of the FCS or even the WAC by any means. It's because that's just not who we are. We won't be there because we can't have a budget bigger than Grand Canyon. What used to be a for-profit, now a non-profit, but a private, very large institution in Phoenix. We're not going to have a budget anywhere near New Mexico State, who is a football bowl subdivision program. We're not going to have the budget of a California Baptist. But guess what? We didn't have anywhere near the budget when they were Division II in the same conference, and we beat them on a regular basis.
And Cal Baptist was always one of our big competitors.
And we beat Grand Canyon too, and their budget was way bigger than ours. So that is a misnomer. We'll spend our money wisely. Are we going to win everything? Of course not. Are we going to win every recruiting battle? Of course not. But we're going to win enough to have a very successful program that the fans and the alumni and the athletes and the parents and faculty and staff can be very, very proud of.
Oh, that's great.
Yes, our budget will be going up, but not to an extent where it's going to jeopardize anything on campus getting done.
So it's what the bottom line is. It's the attitude on the part of the administration as well as yourself being part of the administration that you're fully aware that there's a balance between academics and athletics.
Oh, yeah. And we're not jeopardizing anything on campus to make this happen.
Yeah.
The students have supported it. They increased their student fees to help us with it. We're going out and raising a lot of money.
Student government.
We believe the state legislature will give us some more money for academic enhancement and retention and graduation initiative that they do for all the campuses on Utah. So we've got a very good conservative budget plan. It's not like we've said, okay, we're going to increase our budget. We're going to increase it by 800%, and we're now going to be at just throw out a number, $35 million. Well, there's nowhere. No, we're going to be a third of that, and we're very realistic, and we know we're going to live within that realistic realm because it's Dixie State. We want to be the most affordable school in Utah, if not in the West, and that comes with having to be thrifty and be conservative and do it the right way and not overreach.
Okay, let me change it. Let me give you a positive spin on this.
Okay.
This is the neophytes out there in St. George talking.
Okay.
What we're saying is that we anticipate always being competitive for Dixie State University, but we're thinking about filling that stadium with 10,000 people.
Good.
It's a revenue producer, and the softball and the baseball, and attending as many athletic events as possible. And so there's some incremental revenue.
Absolutely.
You have probably a median of the road of attendance, and you try to exceed those, which we are with Burns Arena. So that's a positive spin. On top of that, with the projections I just read, with the study that just came out from that school up north called the University of Utah, the Gardner study, indicating there's going to be probably about 350,000 to 500,000 people here in the next 45 to 50 years.
Yep.
That wouldn't it be nice to have a university? Yes. Well, I wonder what university we should adopt. How about Dixie State?
Yeah.
So just with population growth itself and the anticipated revenues from attendance and obviously growth if we justify the program, I think that's out there.
Yep.
It's just you can't spin the wheel yet.
Right.
But it's encouraging.
To be honest, I mean, this Division I was not in our
I know.
Well, not on our radar screen at all, and it kind of came out of nowhere. But we wanted to look at it, and quite honestly, we're probably about 10, maybe 15 years early than the natural growth and maturity of the university. Just to be honest, but we're gonna take advantage of the opportunity we have, rip the Band-Aid off now, and grow it smartly over time. But when those things start happening, when our enrollment is closer to 15 to 20,000, and when the population in the area is at those levels or just higher than they are now, we're going to be able to fund it in a very, very good way.
See, that's the other side of this. You got with the growth, you also have more alumni. With more alumni, that spreads. Then it's going to be a growing process. And if we keep going, we're the fastest growing university in the state of Utah right now.
Yep.
We're at 11,193. I got that number exact.
That's right.
But we're projecting out, and we're going to make this. It's going to be 12,500. That'll be for next fall. For the first year as a Division I school, we're at 12,000, which is a very comfortable. They got new dormitories being built, all kinds of infrastructure being built, along with the athletic department. And then they're going to project another 10%. So we're looking at, what you're saying, 15,000 plus in 2022, 2023 possibly.
Right. Yeah.
So, and then the population around us is growing.
Yeah. So our budget plan to fund this doesn't really account for that much growth.
That's my next question. How do you know that?
It's very conservative. So when we can make up some difference, with extra student fees or extra fundraising and sponsorships or whatever it might be, that's just less that the university has to provide us.
Yes.
So in a worst case, it's not going to really impact them. In a better case, it's going to actually improve. It's going to bring money back to the university.
Right. The incremental revenue coming back in that was not anticipated.
Correct.
It's just going to allow things to really take off. And if you continue with that conservative expenditure policy, it's going to reap dividends for us long term.
Absolutely.
Do you agree with that? Or
oh yeah,
that's us old guys out here in the community.
The community, the university, the economy, everything that the university brings. A D1 athletic program will just kind of energize that. It's not going to drive the whole thing by any means, but it's going to be a big add kind of gasoline to the fire a little bit, and just watch it explode.
And here's another piece of reality out here with social media the way it is now, and we're anticipating with 5G coming in, it's faster than when that happens. There's some jobs will be replaced with robotics, AI, but there'll be all new jobs, and we're setting ourselves as a university from a pure academic standpoint.
Yeah.
And what does athletics mean to that? Athletics will be the logo for the university. It's tangible. When those teams are out there participating, wearing the Dixie State University logo and representing the university, and a lot of positive spin on that, social media can become even more important. And that spin itself is going to promote, that's a tangible piece of evidence. Dixie State University, where is that?
That's right.
And
and it's the analogy is used all the time that we're the front porch of the university. And so is cultural arts. I mean, their programs are also a front porch for a lot of people that have no desire or interest in athletics, but they're exposed to our wonderful students and the university through theater programs, whatnot. But the athletic program is doing it all over the western half of the United States now. And not if, but when we get to the NCAA men's basketball tournament on a national stage, when we're playing, we might be a 12 or 13 seed, let's just say, typically what a WAC team is, maybe even higher than that or lower than that. We're playing a Power 5, most likely, or a really good basketball team. We could be playing, if we're a 15 seed, let's say, we're playing Duke in the first round. We're playing North Carolina. We're playing Oregon. We're playing Arizona.
Can I throw Michigan in there?
I don't know that Michigan will make it. But
I knew that.
we're playing teams like that on a national stage. We might be the first game of the day on the Thursday, and so you're playing it at, 12:15 local time, but everybody's watching. I mean, people are watching that in their office. They're doing their pools, and they're like, Dixie State, what is this? Where is that? And they're going to look it up. And
one of my friends, and I'm not going to say his name, but one of my friends said, what he can't wait for is next fall when he looks at the bottom of the screen where they're giving the scores to see the Dixie State logo there.
Yeah.
I said, what? I said, all the things that are going on in this university, you're excited about seeing the logo next to the scores?
It's the craziest thing. I mean, I agree. It'll be cool. I mean, but is that worth all this money to go to Division I? No. But that's something that comes with it. Because people will start.
Pride.
Oh, it's very much so.
It's their university.
Their university. That's right. It's awesome.
They may never have attended a class here, but you know what? This is your university.
And all the great things that our academic side of the house is doing.
I know.
You just don't have that ability to scroll across the bottom of national TV on ESPN on Monday Night Football or during some Michigan State basketball game that a professor just, did this piece of research and found this out. That unfortunately don't have that. It's amazing, and we're doing great stuff. But hey, there's Dixie State basketball.
That's exactly the point. Yeah.
Beating Grand Canyon, in a basketball game.
And I like your analogy, the front porch of the university. Yeah, it's out there.
There's several entities on that front porch, but we're one of them.
You're doing a great job.
Yeah.
Listen, before we go, I'm getting close to the end here, but before we go, can you go through, if people are interested in donating to the athletic department, can you give us that information one more time for me?
It's easy. Just text Dixie, DIXIE.
Okay.
In the subject, in your text field, but the phone number you'd put in that you would text to is 71777.
Okay.
And you just text the word Dixie to 71777, and then you'll get an automated response back, and you just click on the link and it goes right into our page where you can donate. But you can also go to giving.dixie.edu and just donate directly that way as well. Okay. If you don't want to text. But also come to games, buy tickets.
Oh, yeah. And we've got what we've talked about here today. We've got things that are ongoing right now. We're ranked nationally now, as well as
time to get on board.
Anticipation for the spring teams when they get underway.
And of course, anyone can send me an email or give me a call. I'll be happy to meet with them if they have want to talk about donations or other things going on.
All right. Well, that's been, unfortunately, we're out of time again. Dr. Jason Boothe, the athletic director for Dixie State University, thank you for your time and insight.
Thanks for having
moving
me.
Forward. Oh, I have one thing I got to ask real quick. Are we going to have a marching band?
We're working on it.
All right. That's what I wanted to hear. Hey everybody. Listen, thank you very much for being with us, and we'll see you again next week. Bye.
You've been listening to Dr. Bob Oxley with tips, topics, issues, and positions. For video and/or audio of this, go to Podbean or Spotify, YouTube or Facebook, and search Radio St. George or radiostgeorge.com. Until next week, this has been Bob Oxley with tips on Radio St. George 100.3 FM.